they've done a lot of talking, dude. You know, Cejudo and O'Malley have gone back and forth a lot. That's a big fight right there. Well, that fight card went exactly as every single expert had predicted. It's really wild, dude. I took a hard look at the odds last night before the event started, and for the four main event like fights that everybody had their eyeballs on, literally every single favorite won, and like won decisively, you know. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about this whole thing. Merab, essentially mauled Sean O'Malley in a way that's like he's getting much better too, dude. Much better, and he developed a very specific part of his game that was right there. You know, it was one of those things that was like right there, and now he's got it, and it's just gonna make him even more impossible to beat. But we're going to talk about that. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Kayla Harrison new champion, which I think everybody knew was inevitable after watching her performance against Holly Holm. Like, if any, I don't know. I heard people like, I don't know, man. I think Juliana's got a shot. Like, she's a pretty big underdog. I'm like, dude, did you see her? Did you see Kayla Harrison against Holly Holm? Honestly, but Amanda Nunes coming back, that's a different ball game, dude. That's a completely different ball game. And we'll obviously talk about that. And we'll talk about the other fights on the card. But just a quick shout out to Kevin Holland. You guys may recall Kevin Holland from the video I did yesterday about Wes Watson and his, pro fighters are pussies tirade. And Kevin Holland is the one who called him out. And then Wes was going back and forth with him in the DMs. Yeah. So just in case you needed further validation that Kevin Holland would bend Wes over his Bugatti and take his manhood. You saw it last night because he fought a guy about 1,000 times tougher than Wes Watson, and he choked him out, and that was amazing. And he looked great too before that too. Dude, Kevin Holland, when he's on, he is so nasty, dude. He is so nasty. And every time he fights, I say the exact same thing, and I will do it again right now. Okay, two notes of mine about Kevin Holland. The first one is that when you see that guy in person up close, he is so big, dude. He is enormous. I don't understand how he makes 70, dude. He's huge. He's skinny, but he's like, I don't know. Do you know a lot of people who are like 6'4", 170, but carry muscle on them to like throw people around? I don't. I know like one, and it's Kevin Holland. And the other thing, too, is I've seen him fight live, I think, at least 3 times. The guy fights so much, dude. It's not like, I go to a lot of shows, but he's been at 3 of them. And the thing that I always can tell, when he's on the TV, too, that guy is not nervous at all when he's going into fight. Like, at all. Like, he's not nervous. He's not even, like, a little bit nervous. Merab also. I'm going to talk about the main event right after this, but like Merab also on his walkouts, man, like you're like, dude, this guy has no nerves. He's living his best life right now. Most people, great fighters, like the best fighters in the world. You could see that like, it's a really important moment for them. Like they really need to perform, and there's a lot of pressure, and you could see that they're laser focused. You know what I mean? It's like you get laser focused to deal with the pressure of the moment. And you've done all of this preparation. Fight camps are brutal, dude. You're in the best shape of your life, and it's all coming down to this. You got everybody in the world watching. Like, you're going to get in a fight. Like, you're going to get in a fight, and the whole world is watching you. So, like, people who have zero nerves, I'm like, that is psychopathic almost, in like the best way possible. But he is not nervous at all. He is exactly where he wants to be. He doesn't really care if he loses. He just like loves being in there. He's a star. He's a little bit crazy too. Man, I wish that Wes Watson was dumb enough to fight him. That would be so funny. That would be so funny, dude. If Wes Watson was actually delusional enough to fucking fight Kevin Holland, that would be so funny. At least Wes Watson's smart. I will at least give him that he's at least smart enough not to actually entertain fighting one of these UFC fighters. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, they're pussies. I just always whipped ass. But like, you know, demonstrating that he actually does know, like, okay, what you're saying is nonsense, because he used to invite people, hey, pull up, dude, pull up. He says pull up to Kevin Holland. He's going to fucking pull up, dude. And you're going to have to get down. And you and your buddies can try to jump him, and he's going to fuck all of you guys up. But anyway, so congratulations to Kevin Holland. I love when he wins, even though he was mean to some people that I was with at the Nate Diaz and Jake Paul fight for no reason. He was in a bad mood that night, dude. Anyway, so then let's just talk about the main event, and we'll go down this way. So, dude, again, Merab, like, the more I watch this guy, the more I like him. You know, like him on the microphone. I love him on the mic, dude. Like, I love him on the microphone. He's in a world of entitled crybabies. And I'm not talking about like necessarily like other pro fighters. I'm talking about just in general. People think that they deserve the things that they don't have, you know? They don't think about the things they do have and try to find the gratitude in that. And I cannot stress to people enough, if you're looking for a reason that you're blocking good things out of your life, that's it right there. Stop obsessing about the things you don't have, because that's what you're sending into the world, is like, or into the universe. You're like, I don't have that, it's not fair. I don't have that, it's not fair. You're going to lose things that you do have versus gain things that you want. You know, if you approach every day from a position of gratitude, I'm telling you, like, things will be much better for you and for everybody. And Merab, he gets on the microphone and he thanks Dana White for creating this incredible organization to give him the opportunity to live his best life. And now he's a world champion, and all he did is work. He's nobody. He's comes from nothing. You know, it's like he's just this crazy little fucker from like a little place in nowhere in Georgia. And he just worked his ass off and found an opportunity to, to fight for a new life, like to fight for his best life. And he did it and is doing it. You know, the guy trains harder than anybody else. And here's the thing, dude, everybody's talking about his gas tank now. I mean, obviously his gas tank is superhuman and terrifying, you know, like it's one thing. Okay. It's one thing to talk about a person's gas tank as an observer of the sport, right? Where you're like, you can just visually observe that other guys start to get tired and he is not. And that is obviously a tremendous advantage, because a tired person cannot perform at the same level as a person who is not tired. But if you actually have experience in fights, like for real, in martial arts and competing and all that, the reason it's different is because, at least for me, there is nothing more terrifying than the prospect of being fucking exhausted, gassed to the point of like you're shaking on the inside. Like every voice in your brain is like, quit. Like, you've done it, like, quit. And the part of your brain that's like, you can't be a pussy, like, don't be a pussy, is the only thing that's like, it's like the fear of being hurt in a fight is not even close to the fear of being underneath someone out of gas and the person is fresh, you know? Now in jiu-jitsu, you could theoretically find a reason to give up an arm. I mean, arm is probably not your best bet, but like, you know, give up your neck or whatever, get choked, tap out, be done. And in fights, like, you know, obviously you don't want to get knocked out. So give up your neck. You can get out of there, but like, then you lose. You know what I mean? Then you lose. And a person who's choosing to compete in martial arts at any level is a person who does not want to lose. Like, what the fuck are you doing there then? You know, whether it's just like some local fucking jiu-jitsu tournament or you're on the biggest stage in the world, why would you go through all the training, and then why would you enter into a tournament if you didn't want to win? You know, And so you can't quit, like you can't. Your body's screaming to quit, you can't. So you have to keep fighting because your brain won't allow you to quit. And it's the worst fucking feeling in the world. Sometimes you win too. Feel good afterwards. But I mean, it's fucking miserable. And so just watching Merab and just imagining what that's like you could just feel, as soon as you start that, if you're squared up with that fucking guy and you start to feel yourself start to wilt, just a little bit, like you think that you prepared. Like if you're Sean O'Malley, like you really think that you prepared. You're like, my cardio can hold up for 25 minutes. And you just don't realize, you're like, the way that you're training, where you're doing however many minutes, you are not simulating the kind of pressure this guy is putting on you for 25 minutes. Like apparently, like you're just not. Like you need to be bringing, essentially, honestly, if I was going to try to just, I mean, I've obviously never built out anybody's fight camp, but if I was going to train a fighter for Merab, I seriously think that my approach would be like, road work constantly, but the big thing would be, I would have an army of people that were going to go in and fight against my fighter as hard as they can for 2 minutes, and then like as hard as they can. And these guys have to be bangers, dude. Like guys who have fucking, have real like strength. I think strength is the most important thing. Like strength and aggression. Doesn't matter how good they are necessarily, because they only need to go for 2 minutes. And those guys, and they just put, every day you put your fighter through fucking 35 minutes of completely fresh guy going 100% against you, Because like, especially, and all grappling, by the way, like all grappling. Okay? Because like, you're not going to obviously, like, for Merab specifically, that. Because you're not going to hurt. Like, if you have people who are competent grapplers, they're not going to injure you because they're going 100%, Like, obviously, they're smart enough to know, don't do anything psychotic. Don't fucking heel hook the guy. Matter of fact, don't submit them. Like, you're not allowed to submit them. Like, the purpose of this is for you to smash them. Fucking smash them, dude. Go 100% on them. Bigger guys than the fighter. And do it just, 3-4 times a week. Or maybe even every day if the body can take that. I'm just assuming like the body probably can't take that. You can't do that every single day. But that's like the only way that you can simulate the kind of pressure he's going to put on you. Like you need fresh guys going 100% for 35 minutes every time, because he presents a level of pressure that no one else does. And he's never going to run out of gas, dude. So you got to bring in fresh guys every 2 minutes to simulate what this guy's going to have. It's fucking insane. Like honestly, think about that. That's the common sense solution that I come up with to prepare for this guy. Much bigger fighters, 2 minutes each, them going 100% on you grappling. And they're not allowed to submit you. Like you don't get a break. There's no choke and like you get a breather. Like they're there to fucking smash you. And if you can't get them off of you, they smash your fucking brains in, not punching it, but like they crush you, smother you a little bit, but not enough to like make you submit, like just make your life miserable, and do that the entire camp. Because how else are you going to prepare for this fucking guy? And the thing is, he's getting better now. Obviously he's getting better. And I felt pretty good about my talk track in this fight, because every time that I've talked about Merab since the first O'Malley fight, I've said the same thing, which is if that guy could lock in one, maybe two, if it's a sequence, like really, really strong technical chokes from front headlock, he is going to be, it would just that one thing will make him exponentially more dangerous, because he's not a finisher, but he is always in position to choke people from the front. But he clearly has not made that a focus. Apparently, his coaches recognize the same thing, because the first time that that Sean sprawled to, I can't remember exactly what the sequence was to put them in that front headlock position. I'm pretty sure that Sean was rolling to turtle, if I remember correctly, and Merab just slapped that choke in and finished him. And it's like, it's rare for there to be a guy who can be world champion level and there be a single technique that can change the entire dynamic of the problem to solve with them. But that is exactly what it is with Merab. He's also a way better striker now, you know, and they prepared him very well. Every time that O'Malley was, what was that? What was that? What was the strike he was throwing? And then Merab was winging at him every single time. I'm embarrassed. I can't remember. I don't know, but there was one of those ones where like every time Sean threw that strike, it might have been, I don't think it's a kick. I don't know. But Merab was winging punches at him. Now, he didn't hurt Sean on the feet, but it looked like he could, you know. I mean, he hit him with good shots. The thing about his striking being better is just that it makes it that much more difficult to keep him off you in terms of him grabbing a hold of you. And the thing is, again, dude, like you can fucking get, like, as they're shooting in, if, you know, just slide your hand in and get that underhook. As long as you have one underhook, you have a pretty good chance of being able to circle out, get the other underhook and circle out and get out of there, you know? I mean, obviously there's ways that he can, even with you having an underhook, he can still take you down. But like, if you can get one of those underhooks and then fight for the other one, whatever, circle around, you can get out of there, dude. And if you have really good balance, you could deal with him. But right up until you start getting tired, dude. Because once you're tired, it's completely, I mean, it's just, that's the whole thing. It's like every single part of the fight in general is like the second that you're tired, you're looking at a completely different chessboard. Because now you can't do that. He's going 100%. You are now at 60. You know, 60. Because the thing is, even guys who have like tremendous cardio, you know, like they can recover very quickly, right? But Merab gives you no time to recover at all. And once it's like, at least like in my experience, once the meter starts going down, it starts going down fucking fast, dude. If someone's putting a lot of pressure on you and you start to feel your fatigue setting in, and they're like on top of you in a grappling exchange, it's like you just feel yourself getting zapped. Or you're like, you know, I don't know, like as my jiu-jitsu's developed, like my defensive jiu-jitsu has gotten very good. Like I have really good defensive jiu-jitsu. It's because I carry so much muscle on my frame that like if I don't have good defensive jiu-jitsu, like I'll gas out. So I have to be able to be in spaces and be safe, like, you know, where I can be super efficient with my gas tank. But like in an MMA fight, they could punch you in the face. You know, like they can punch you in the face, which obviously makes it much more difficult in, you know, in certain kind of situations. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like he looks nightmarish to me. Merab looks nightmarish to me, but hopefully, you know, Sean O'Malley is able to, like, I mean, I don't know what to do with Sean O'Malley, dude. That's the worst thing when you have a guy who's that good. Like Sean O'Malley's so good and he's so exciting to watch. And then you just have like this dude at the top of the heap that has beat him twice now, decisively this time. And you're like, what do you do with Sean O'Malley? You know, obviously, like, you know, he'll be a big fight on big cards. There's a lot of guys at 35. As a matter of fact, let's look at that real quick. Dude, I hate when ever since I updated OBS, it glitches like that. And I hate it, dude. With all these new like AI influencers, I'm like, people are gonna start thinking I'm a fucking AI bot or something. It glitches like that. Oh wait, what am I doing? UFC rankings. Okay, so you got Peter Yan. He already fought him. Ooh. Oh man. Umar against O'Malley. Give me that fight. That's who he'll fight next. Unless they want to give him an easy one. Like, unless they want to give him an easy win, get him back on the board. You know, maybe give him Rod Font or Davison Figueiredo. That's a great... Dude, that... Umar is a fucking beast, dude. Umar is a beast. I don't know, like, Sean O'Malley being the brand that he is, if it's me, okay, and I know the UFC loves fucking keeping these guys in the fire when this happens. I don't agree with that approach at all. Um, maybe I even do Cejudo, dude. No offense to Cejudo, but like they've done a lot of talking, dude. You know, Cejudo and O'Malley have gone back and forth a lot. That's a fucking big fight right there. That's a really big fight. You know, O'Malley certainly would be a big favorite. And if I'm the matchmakers, for sure that's what I do. I go O'Malley against Cejudo. Umar, I would give to, and then, you know, obviously Corey Sandhagen will get the next title shot. That is, I cannot wait to watch that, dude. I cannot wait to watch that. I have suggested this many times to everybody. Go smoke some weed and go watch Corey Sandhagen's last fight and just actually see with your eyes, like, you know, a little bit more clear where you can really see people and look at that fucking ninja murder machine in that fight, how locked in he was, dude. It's amazing. Anyway, that's probably enough on this particular weight class. But like, I guess the main thing I wanted to talk about here with Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison is Amanda Nunes as a striker is so much better than Kayla Harrison. It's like, I mean, it's not like they're in different worlds, like different universes. Okay. But Amanda Nunes is coming off the fucking couch, dude. I mean, I don't know how much she's been training or whatever, but like, you know, she's been out of the game for a little while. And usually the person coming out, you know, is like not necessarily their absolute best self. But when you're talking about the GOATs, dude, John Jones, how'd that go? You know? And Amanda Nunes, especially given that she has tremendous advantages over Kayla Harrison, I think she's got a real good shot of winning that fight. Like, real good shot. People last night that I spoke to, like, you know, credible people with, you know, big profiles in mixed martial arts. I'm not going to out them, you know, like I'll let them do it on their own show. But one in particular, he's like, Kayla's going to smash Amanda also. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I am not on that train. Yeah. I mean, if Kayla's able to get Amanda to the ground, you know, obviously she has a huge advantage over anybody in that part of the game. But who has ever taken Amanda down successfully and made her kind of fight there? Except when Juliana Pena, you know, except when she didn't train and Juliana made her tired again, you know? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, she's fought plenty of grapplers. She just ends up beating the fucking shit out of them, you know? And if they have good chins, she just punishes them. So if we see, you know, she's 37, but she's taken very little damage in her career, like very little damage. So, you know, she's going to be a real fresh, real dangerous 37. I don't expect her. I think her at 37 is going, like, in terms of her, you know, age to condition, I think it's not going to affect it at all, would be my hypothesis. But being on you know, now she's running her own team. I think she was running her own team for her last fight, though, and she looked incredible. I also heard a rumor that she left American Top Team specifically because she knew Kayla Harrison was coming. I don't know how much of that is true. It's a good narrative for this fight either way, though. But yeah, Kayla was that position. I know that position real well. That's our six blade system 101. That, like, the sequence that led to that Kimura. But yeah, and they're like, oh man, she tapped fast. It's like, yeah, she tapped fast, dude. You ever had your fucking arm in a Kimura in that position, dude? It's like or had someone's arm in a Kimura from that position. That's my shit right there. Like, just because of my body type, I am a fucking, you know, square body. So, like, not a lot of triangles from the bottom, you know. Smash and Kimura all day. And, like, dude, their arm feels like a fucking matchstick, you know? Like, it doesn't even matter. Well, it does matter, actually. I've had one dude's arm with his hand, you know, like with his arm outside of his body. I was on bottom, though. It wasn't on the top, but, like, where he was so strong that I couldn't finish it. Like, I couldn't finish it. And I also, like, I ended up sweeping him with it. But he was a 290-pound former NFL player, you know, like, very, very, like, fucking, this dude was so strong. But outside of him, every other person I've ever had in a Kimura, and also that was, like I said, from the bottom. On the top, that one, the one from the top that Kayla Harrison had, like, is fucking destroy your arm for life very, very easily. I've always said, like, to people, they're like, what would you do, if you were in a street fight, like, would you strike or would you use grappling? And I'm like, oh, I'd grapple for sure. But, like, just because less things can go wrong. But what I would do in the grappling completely depends on the situation. It's like, if it's some drunk idiot, like, that's accosting us in a restaurant like an idiot, like probably just, like Matt Serra in Vegas when he's like, all right, guy, but if someone really does something like, I don't know, if a guy like kicked my kid or something, like, and I really am like, now you're going to get it, dude. Like, you're getting everything I have. That's where I'm going right there. I'll Kimura him and I will fucking find out how much an arm can actually take before it, because it's not very much. It is like, the arm doesn't go this way, dude. And you have all the leverage in the world. If you don't do jiu-jitsu, you never had a Kimura in that position. It's like think of taking like a stick from a tree that's like that thick. And the feeling where you're bending it over your knee and it's like, all I have to do is just push this hard and it's definitely 100,000% going to break. That's that position, And honestly, like in my experience, most people who get that they're holding back just for a second, like, because they're not going to get out of it. And so, even in pro fights, they hold back a little bit, I bet, because if you go 100% right out of the gate, like, they won't have, in most cases, they probably won't have time to tap before you can injure them. It's like, if you go on YouTube and look up Kimura injury, like, there are like a few like that I've seen like in tournaments where some psycho just fucking goes full throttle on a Kimura, and like in lower levels where, it's possible that a guy's fighting who has never been in one before and they don't realize, so they like think, or when they've been in them, they've been in there with like their nice training partners who are being really nice and they don't understand how nice their training partners are being. And so they took a second to tap and they just snap the arm. They're horrific injuries, dude. I know all you sick fucks are going to go look that up right now. Anyway, I've been talking long enough. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Bye-bye.